All right, it said Graney and Mark Anderson from the Review-Journal here shortly after Kansas did what they expected to do. 71-53, beat the Rebels here at the Thomas and Mack. Mark kind of played out how we expected it. Went up 22 at the half, kind of sleptwalked through the second half. Adam Hill, our colleague, was saying Kansas is back there ready to board their flight and get out of here.
Yeah, I think we predicted it just a day or two ago that's basically what would happen. That Kansas came out in the first half, basically made its statement, did what it wanted to do, and just kind of just wanted to get out of town. But, I also don't want to take away from UNLV's effort. I mean, UNLV could have folded and just kind of did the same thing, but they came out and played hard the second half and actually outplayed Kansas the second half. And that's something we didn't see 12 days earlier against Duke.
Yeah, I mean, what the Rebels did in the second half was they set themselves up to start conference play at Colorado State on Wednesday, which will be a very tough game, by the way, in Moby Arena out there in Fort Collins. But they did enough in the second half to maybe build off something as they go into league. Look, I don't know if they can get to 500 in the league, Mark, but there's a lot of tough venues on the road. But you're seeing some things, and it's hard to mask in these blowout losses. But I think you and I, who see the team often, are seeing at least some signs of improvement that when they get into league, they can stay into games and maybe win their share.
I think so too, and I agree with you. The travel in this league is just so tough, and that's what a lot of people don't realize how challenging it is. Even the best teams in this league struggle on the road, so it's going to be hard opening at Colorado State, and then they come back on New Year's Eve and play Wyoming here, which is probably the most improved team in the conference. That's a tough way to open conference play. So they need to take the second half of this game and build on that. And if they can play against those two teams like they played in the second half tonight, they got a shot to win both those games, but they're not going to be easy.
Yeah, the brutal stretch is over. 10 days, Duke, at Oregon, home to Kansas. Probably not what Marvin Menzies wanted his first year, but this schedule was made by a different coaching staff with a different team and expected different results. But as it played out, it is what it is. Now they go on to league, 7-6. They got the winning record in the non-conference, and I think at this point that's the best they could probably hope for.
Yeah, I think if you told Marvin Menzies before the season he'd be 7-6 at this point, he probably would have taken it. The only game that they lost that they shouldn't have, or that they weren't expected to, was the South Alabama game. The first game this team played together. So if they played South Alabama now, maybe it's different. But other than that, they won every game they're supposed to. And then, they had TCU here on this floor and really should have won that game. That would have been a nice win for them. They would have gotten Washington the next night. And as we see, Washington would have been beatable. So, I like what he's done. I like the progress this team's making. I mean, no one's under the illusion this team's going to, go make this big postseason run or anything like that. But you have to look at it the way it is. This is a rebuilding program, and you have to see generally what direction they're going in, and you look for signs of what this program may look down the road, and you can tell it is a well-coached team, and they have made improvement throughout the season.
I asked Marvin Menzies afterwards, is this how you're going to schedule it? He said, yes, we are not going to do a bunch of bye games. I don't think he's going to play 3 of these people in 10 days, but I do think he's going to continue to play top 25 opponents. I think the UNLV fans demand as such, and I think we'll see more of these types of games, and hopefully a few recruiting classes from now, they'll be more competitive. Final here from the Thomas and Mack, 71-53 Kansas. Happy holidays to everyone.